Welcome back to the O2 Arena here in the heart of London. Here we are with the Master of Ceremonies, Vernon Ray.
You got it right this time.
How are you, sir?
Yeah, good. Nice to be in the O2. Culmination of sort of 10 years of us doing the white collar scene to bring us to this iconic venue, really, isn't it? You know, on a night like tonight, there's a smaller show going on next door, apparently.
Well, we've just got passed by somebody actually, and I would like to have grabbed him, but you know who that was, don't you? Yeah. Well, I'll tell you later. Anyway, so here we are, and we're with Danny McLaren for the Night of Champions at the Indigo O2, and it's going to be a fantastic night of boxing. There's women's boxing, there's a couple of 12-year-olds, some younger lads, and there's going to be probably, 1,500, 2,000 people there. What a night.
Yeah, it's going to be a cracking event. As I said, it's grown over the last 10 years, and sorry, just one of the boards.
Yeah.
I'm not doing white collar, I promise. It's grown and grown. About 4 years ago, Alan got involved with this as well, and we've kind of taken it to another level. You're right, we've got ladies boxing tonight, we've got some youngsters boxing tonight, but the DKM and the Alan Push is probably the biggest and the best white collar in London. It's the only white collar I do. Really enjoy it, and to come to this place is a little bit special. As you know yourself, you've been here a while this afternoon with us, you've seen how we work.
It's building up and there's a nice buzz to it, and on any fight night it's a fantastic night, but we've got some heavyweight boxing over the foyer, as you said, with Anthony Joshua trying to kick-start his career going with Jermaine Franklin. That's not an easy fight for him, and if he comes through that unscathed and looking good, then he's back on track. AJ's back.
Yeah, I'd say he'll come he'll get through it unscathed. It's not the biggest test he could have in the world, but you're right, he's coming off with 2 defeats, pound for pound one of the best boxers in the world. I'm sure we'll all agree with that with Usyk. Yeah. He does need to get through this tonight. I'm pretty sure he will. I think he'll do it in style, myself personally, inside maybe 5 or 6 rounds. He's coming heavy, we know. He's a couple of stones heavier than Franklin. I expect him to come through that. And if I'm honest, I expect it to be a Fury AJ at some point later this year. I think would be a cracking contest for the British public.
I think that's what everybody wants to see. The Ukrainian will get shoved out because the money's not into that fight, and everybody wants the best of British and they want that fight, Vernon.
Yeah, they do. I think at the moment, money inside boxing has been a little bit polluted with the Middle Eastern money. They're paying ridiculous amounts of money for what really sometimes shouldn't even be on television contests. Right. Mm-hmm. The people like the O2, certainly like Wembley, they're going to struggle to raise the funds to pay these boxers what they want. They want in their pocket after their ifs, ands, buts and maybes probably 25 million. They can't do that on our home soil. Yeah. So yes, it'll be a great contest. They might pay him a few quid to go aside, Usyk, but there's some great. The heavyweight division at the moment is the marquee division, and it makes all the other divisions more profitable. Yeah,
they've got to get it together, and they've got to get them fights going, because, like you say, that's the top tier. That's the pinnacle of boxing, not just in Great Britain but in the world. And them guys need to fight each other. They need to get it on, and they need to start scrapping each other.
I totally agree. I'm going to move you off of that a little bit, because as much as that is a fantastic spectacle tonight, ladies, and it will be, inside the Indigo, this is like your grassroots of football, this is your grassroots of boxing. These are the guys that watch the big stars on the TV and go, I'd like a piece of that action. And believe me, these guys put on a great show. There's nobody in there for ego. They are in there because they want to try and win themselves something. The belts, they're great to win. Everybody wants to win a trophy, whether you're 2 years old, 10 years old or 50 years of age. I play walking football at my age, and we will still want to win stuff. Inside everybody, there's a winner. Yeah. And these guys put on a fantastic show. Believe me, you're going to enjoy yourself in there tonight.
No, I agree. I won a trophy, for the best stoppage last year on my show in September, and it's on my mantelpiece, best stoppage, and it's nice to have something. And these guys are fighting for belts tonight, and some of them got their debuts, and they're fighting for a belt.
Absolutely right. And something I get across to people very early on when they first arrive in the arena, I won't have booing at any of my events. I point out to people, and to people at home right now, anybody that climbs inside those ropes with a set of gloves on and is taking on somebody else, throwing leather at them, they deserve your respect. From the moment they walk in there to the moment they walk out, win, lose or draw, it's a tough sport, and it is a sport. People say it's not because of the money, but it is a sport because the Olympics still have it. It's a tough game, the boxing game, and all due respect to every one of those that in there tonight in the main O2 arena, the pros, and to the boys in the white collar in there, they're doing the same thing, and they've all got the same desire in their hearts.
Yeah, you must have met some characters in the sport, Vernon, over the years, and you were just telling me about you'd actually met Vernon Kay, and you'd literally bumped into him on the dance floor. But, with the boxing, you meet some absolute great characters, down-to-earth characters, and the salt of the earth, and, right from the age of 12, 13, 14 coming through the gyms to the older guys kicking about in the gyms, bringing the guys on. It's fantastic to see the sport bringing everybody together, and the way a lot of the clubs are tackling men's mental health now is so admirable and so good. Our men are talking in this day and age.
I totally agree, and boxing is a great sport for that. It does focus people. It does focus people's minds. It gives them discipline, because when you're in that gym you have to be disciplined, otherwise you could get hurt. And something I've always said, boxing people are boxing people. Often I could be doing a small hall show at York Hall with 8 or 9 bouts, and at ringside you could have anybody from Chris Eubank to, I don't know, any of the greats.
Yeah.
And they all come together. That's boxing. It's a community.
Yeah.
It really is. Yes, there's some on the outside that have got their bits to say about it and aren't a little bit critical. But all in all, and pretty much in general, boxing people are boxing people, and it's a community that comes together, especially when somebody's down on their luck. And again, as I said, there's white collar boxing, there's this collar boxing, there's great fighters, there's good fighters, and there's a big difference.
Yeah.
There really is. Characters, you're right. I've interviewed Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Evander Holyfield. They're just in the heavyweight division. Larry Holmes. I've been absolutely blessed to talk to the people that I watch on TV and love. And it's not a job, it's a vocation. I love what I do.
I notice boxing people lift boxing people because, I'm not long in this game interviewing. We've got a mutual friend in Ben Dougherty. Ben, I teamed up with him earlier and we got an interview. Straight the way you knew him, and hey, he's all right, yeah, he's okay. And people lift each other.
Do you know what? I love Ben. I actually call him the Oracle.
Yeah.
Because he knows absolutely everything about boxing. The round, what time in the round it happened, what punch it was, way more than I'll ever know.
Yeah.
But when I do interviews, I do them at street level.
Yeah.
I'm not a journalist, I'm a punter.
Yeah.
And when I interview people, I think I come across that way.
Yeah.
I ask the questions that Joe Public would want to ask. And it seems like Ben is a different level to that.
Yeah.
And sometimes people, they kind of lose what's going on because he does get a little bit in depth.
Yeah.
I think as an analyst, he is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
And he's actually great fun to be with as well. You know.
Yeah, I'd put myself in the same mould as yourself, Vernon, because we're boxing fans and we're lovers of the sport.
Absolutely. The sport in general, I love. I said I still play football, still play golf, but my work is predominantly the boxing.
Yeah.
Yes, I work with ex-footballers. I go on tour and do interviews and stuff. But in general, the boxing I love. I absolutely love the boxing. So it's not a job.
What did you think of Frank Warren's comments this week about social media had killed the fight between Usyk and Tyson Fury? Because I would say that social media has made these fights and made these people what they are today. So you can't have it one way and not the other.
I totally agree. They know how to manipulate the system. I would say the only thing that would have killed that fight would have been money. Yes, there's going to be the little nuances with the details, the talk about the no rematch clause. You could talk about it all night long. There'll be 1,000 different reasons. Personally, I think it boils down to one thing: money, because that makes the world go round. As I said and alluded to about 5 minutes ago, the Middle East has absolutely polluted what is in boxing because they can pay so much more than what we can generate over here. You know, it's doing it with boxing, it's doing it with Formula One, it's doing it with all sorts of sports. And we're struggling to keep up. We're really struggling to keep up. Yeah. But let's hope that somehow these boxers... let's hope that these boxers somehow go, you know what, let's bring it home to the people that really count. The people at home. Yeah. I'd love to see it on terrestrial TV, like last night on Channel 5. Yeah. Great show on Channel. Chris Eubank's nephew was on there last night.
Yes,
you know?
I saw it.
It's superb.
Yeah.
Let's get it back into the living rooms. Get the ABAs back on the telly.
I think the managers and the promoters have got a duty to boxing in Great Britain to make these fights and make it happen here on British soil. Because if we don't get our acts together, we're going to see these fights not only not being made, but if they are made, they're going to be in the Far East.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly what it's going to be. I do understand that the money at the top does filter down. When the heavyweight division is as buoyant as it is right now, the other divisions do benefit.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about that. The undercards that make these contests, they do. So you need the rough with the smooth. One outweighs the other. But it would be great if they could get together. And sometimes some of these promoters just talk to each other face to face rather than doing it through emails and solicit. Just sit down at a table and work it out, because the great fights, everybody wants to see Usyk and Fury. Everybody wants to see it. Two great boxers. Yes, they can both. Certainly Fury can punch, we know that, but they're great boxers. They're skillful boxers, and I think that would be a great contest. Those two be real cagey, but my money would be on Fury when he really wants it.
Yeah, and I think the promoters and the fighters have got a duty to boxing to let somebody have a chance to fight for all the belts.
Oh, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
The last time we had a unified heavyweight champion was our own Lennox Lewis, our own Canadian, whatever wants to say. But to me, one of the top 5 heavyweights of all time. Yeah. I still think he'd be the best around today. Yeah,
well, I think he'd beat Fury every day of the week and twice on a Sunday, as Fury would say.
I totally agree. But if you go back to his era, he never got it on with Riddick Bowe.
No.
Everybody wanted that contest. Never happens. Why? Because they couldn't get the money right, they couldn't get the politics right, and it can kill a sport. It really can, and we need to get these big shows together, the big boxers together, to generate the rest and let it filter down, right down to grassroots boxing here. You're going to see 2,000 people in there tonight that are there for one reason only, because they want to see their family, their friends boxing.
Yeah. So, get yourselves down to the O2, the Night of Champions. There could still be tickets on the door. It's a great, great night of boxing. £40 on the door. You go in here and it's £200 to go and watch AJ. So, grassroots boxing is its best. Look out for your unlicensed and your white-collar fights near you, because you're going to see some great boxing. Take care, keep punching, like and subscribe to the Barnet Boxing Barber. Cheers, Vernon.